Welcome to the Candid Cara podcast, a space where we explore mental health, healing, growth, and everything in between, from the power of emotions and music to life's big lessons and the stories we tell ourselves. I'm your host, Cara, and I'm so excited to share this conversation with Sydney Shea, the triple threat LA native singer, songwriter, and dancer. Sydney was singing entire Gwen Stefani songs as a baby and naturally turned to journaling to express herself from an early age, which developed into her love of writing. We talk about loss, resilience, power dynamics disguised as artist development deals, and why being your own teacher may be the most sustainable path. Sydney shares how she uses technology to manage her career without losing her values, how she's building a true fan base beyond algorithms, and the mindset that has taken her to this stage in her artistry. If you're an artist navigating the indie world or just a human learning to trust yourself, I think you'll really enjoy this one.
You can shoot me with honestly any question. I'm not afraid.
How would you describe what you do in your own words to the listener?
I create music and art to show my perspective of the world. I also dance. Dance has been a big part of my life ever since I was a kid. And music has always just been there. I always wrote in my diary. That was the main thing I did as a kid. I didn't really play with toys and dolls. It was always like my Hello Kitty diary with my little lock on it. So writing, music, singing, dancing, it's always been a part of my life.
Amazing. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. So you didn't come from money. You had a tough time growing up, apartment to apartment. It was just your mom and you and your brother. Could you talk about what this was like and how music was there during all of this?
My stepdad was an amazing, amazing, amazing musician, guitar player. And I always saw him playing guitar. There's these clips of us, him playing guitar and me just singing melodies. I was maybe like 2, 3 years old. And I'm glad I have those because I see that it was always a part of me. So those moments are really special. I try not to dwell on the fact that he got sick. It was really hard for my mom. I'm very inspired by my mom and her journey and watching my mom grow up, doing it all by herself in LA. Obviously, now I'm in a really beautiful home. I've always been in a beautiful environment. My mom's always made sure of that. So even though we were jumping from apartment to apartment, going back to my grandma's house, living there, going to another place, I was always in a really good environment. My mom made sure of that. So I'm really grateful for that. And music always was a part of my life. I was very inspired by my stepdad, my mom's journey, me and my mom raising my brother together. He was a baby. He was only 6 months when my stepdad passed away. So he never even got to know his dad. So there's a lot of heartbreak and sad things, but I think that I've used my art as a way to cope with all of that and turn it into something beautiful. So that's just how I look at it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I actually was surprised when I read that you were a dancer before a singer, because when I met you, you were so deep within your songwriting, like artist identity, that I couldn't imagine a version of you where you weren't a singer-songwriter. And then I saw videos of you dancing that you put online, and I was really impressed. You're an amazing dancer as well as singer. But I read online that you identify more as a singer, like that's your true calling. So I'm so curious if you can talk about the transition from singing and dancing and how maybe they're interconnected.
I feel like they've always been interconnected. Whenever I was a kid, all I would do is sing and dance. And I would pretend that I was on a stage and I would sing and I would dance, make my own choreographies and stuff. So it was always interconnected, but I never took singing seriously, I guess, because I never thought that that was even possible. I was like, how do you even do that? Like, when I was a kid, I used to think that someone would like come up to me on the street and be like, it's you, you're it. Like back then, social media was just starting to come about. And once I realized, oh, I can put myself out on social media, it took a long time for me to be confident enough to do that. I was 18 or 17 the first time I ever posted a video of me singing on social media. And before that, I was a kid. I was a social media kid. I used to go on YouTube. I grew up in that era. I was born in 2001. I lied, actually. The first time I ever posted myself singing was maybe when I was like 8 or 9. I posted it up on YouTube and my mom let me post it. I had to literally ask permission, like, Mom, can I post a video of me singing? I posted a cover of like an Adele song and then
Oh.
I'd always post it and delete it because I was so like self-conscious and I was like, I don't know if I want people to see me singing. It's even more vulnerable than me dancing. Dancing was easy for me, I feel like. I loved dancing in front of everyone, but when it came to singing, I was so scared to sing in front of everyone. The only person I would ever sing in front of was my mom. So they were always connected to each other. I just never showed anyone that side of me. I think I was just too scared or I didn't think I was good enough when I was a kid.
I mean, it makes sense. Every singer experiences this, it seems, or most singers experience that self consciousness. But it's just so crazy to me because I never saw you as that person. Like, I put videos of myself singing in 2008 on YouTube, long deleted. So that story is like familiar to me, but I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so good. I can't believe, you spent those 10 years not putting up videos of yourself singing.
I wish I did.
I'm sure you wouldn't be the amazing person you are today if you hadn't have gone through all that. So did you start putting yourself out there around that age, like 17, 18, and you've been kind of building your online presence since then?
Yeah, I would say like more 2020 is when I actually started like trying to build it and figure it out. There was a lot of obstacles on the way there too, and I'm still figuring it out. I feel like I've been more independent as of now, more than I ever have in my entire life,
Cool.
taking care of my career and nurturing it. It was always someone else giving me their vision of what they wanted me to be, because they'd find me and they'd be like, "Oh my God, you're so good. This is what I think that you should do because this is better or this is what works." And I was so, I guess, like naive to believe in someone else more than I believed in myself, just because they were older or because they were in the industry or whatever. I think that my biggest lesson so far has been trust your gut, trust your intuition. Don't let anyone come into your life and tell you how to live your life. I always had my mom as someone I could go to and talk to about that. And it's hard too, because like as a parent, you want your child to succeed and you want them to do well, especially in an industry that's so cutthroat and really, really hard. I don't see my dad that often, but whenever I do, he'll always make a comment and be like, "You had to choose the hardest thing to be in." And I was like, "Yeah, well,
Maybe it chose you.
I think so. I think that it did choose me. And I think at the end, whatever you're going to end up being in life chooses you if you're open to it. And I'm very open to things. That's just how my personality is. So I let it. I stopped thinking that other people knew better than I did about who I am as an artist.
Yeah, no, that's really powerful. And like, honestly, I relate to that on a personal level. Having gone through something in this past year where I realized, at least for me, I think my sensitivity is my greatest gift. And I think that's for a lot of artists. I was reading through your journal entries and I would love to talk to you about all of them, but specifically the one, You're Not God. When I was reading through this, it kind of made me think of like kind of what you were just alluding to, and also that cliche, what people say happens in LA or even Hollywood, where, you know, someone is like, oh, I know better than you, and then they butter you up and make you think you're so special because you are, and they know that they can profit off you, maybe, and then they tear you down. I mean, this read is pretty abusive, honestly, the way that this interaction went. And I'm sure you've experienced it more than once. And I just want to say first, like, good for you for like fucking standing up for yourself and being like, I'm gonna carve out my path and I'm not going to be taken advantage of. Is there anything more you want to share about this story?
Well, that story that I wrote, there's a lot of situations that I've been in where that has happened, where, like I was saying, someone comes in, they say that they see this for you and this is the right way and whatnot. I don't want to say names because, to be honest with you, I don't even want them to even have the power of like, I was this, like
Oh,
whatever,
totally.
like the nameless person, people. During that time, I was so vulnerable as an artist because I had just gotten out of another toxic relationship in my artistry where I was working with someone and they were doing the same thing to me. And then someone else came in and was like, everything you're doing with this person is awful. So I respected them for coming forward and saying that. And when they brought me to their world and was like, oh, come to my place and you can see what it really is like to be a musician. And I was like, okay. And again, I was so naive to think that just because someone has X, Y, and Z, or they've done this and this and this, that they have the right to treat me the way that they did. And I just let it happen because I always was so desperate to prove to someone and get their respect that I was real and I was special. And it took that whole situation to happen for like another year and a half of someone like trying to build me and control me. Artist development is what they call it, but it's really just let me figure out what you are so I can have all of the leverage over you whenever something big happens because I made you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what it's about. Are you going to let someone take over you and make you because you don't know how to do it or you don't know where to start? I mean, it took a lot of that for me to actually be like, no, wait, I know myself better than you do, and I'm going to take control of my stuff. You can think it's shitty. You can say my songs suck. I like them. I obviously wrote it and liked it for a reason, but now when you say it sucks, I think it sucks. So I think that that's just toxic,
For
especially whenever you're just starting and you're a baby, you know what I mean? Even at 18, 19, I was a baby.
sure. You're still a baby.
You know, you know what I mean? And it was like my most like innocent, vulnerable time. I just like birthed myself into I'm writing songs. I just started playing guitar. I just started playing guitar like 3 years ago.
3 years ago
So,
from now.
yes.
You're so good at
So,
guitar.
thank you. Honestly, I'm going to a lesson after this. Not a lesson, but I have a session with someone that's an amazing guitar player. I want to get really, really, really good at playing guitar on stage. That's like my main goal right now because going back to everything that we were talking about, I always thought that I needed someone to help me because I didn't know how to do it on my own, but I just figured it out and realized I don't need anyone to perform on stage. I don't need anyone to write my songs for me. And at the time, with both situations that happened in those journal entries, if you guys read it, you'll know. I figured out that there was nothing someone could teach me that I couldn't learn on my own. And most artists need to take advantage of the technology that's out there. I think AI is amazing. Some people will disagree and they'll say, no, like you want it to take over people's jobs. No, it's not going to take over anyone's job unless you don't use it. You have to utilize it. I don't have a team right now. I have people that care about me and support me, but I don't have a team that does my daily, day-to-day Sydney Shea
Mm-hmm.
tasks for me. So
So you're so busy.
I'm so busy, but I wake up in the morning and thankfully AI is my music manager. I made my AI my music manager. So I wake up
Cool.
in the morning and I go to my AI and I say, hey, this is what I'm doing today. Help me sort out my schedule. It basically is like, what does a manager do? A manager sorts out your schedule, it books you shows, it helps you get everything in order, it helps you present yourself and figure out what you are and brand yourself. So basically, I used AI as a tool to figure all of that out by myself without needing someone to be like, this is what it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I think that it's an amazing tool. I think that artists that are independent, especially, should really be open to using it to help them because when it comes to humans, and I love humans very much, always, when it comes to humans, people's time is always going to cost something in the end. Unless it's like your mom or someone that is so, so close to you and loves you so much and expects nothing. But most of the time, people still expect something, even if they don't say they do. And that's like a big lesson I learned in working with people that claimed they only want to see me succeed and they're my partner and they're my team. Like, no, I don't think that exists unless you're paying someone. And if you're not paying someone, you will end up paying them one way or another.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with you. Like, I agree that AI can be really beneficial, and I know that a lot of people automatically write it off, but it's the standard at this point. I mean, my personal drawing the line is like I will never use it to like write a song or to touch songwriting.
Agree with that. I don't need to use it to write me a song or to write.
Right.
What I do a lot is when I write a song, I treat AI as a listener. So I'll send AI the song and I'll say, tell me everything that you think about this. And it gives me a whole breakdown. I'm like, tell me what you would think as a listener that lives in Germany. Just like something random. If you're like, you have a certain target audience, or like you wrote a song for something specific, if you're writing a song for a movie, I think it's an amazing tool. So that's what I would say. Use it as a tool. Quincy Jones is one of the most amazing, prolific producers in the entire world, was. Rest in peace, Quincy Jones. But I did listen to a podcast that he did with Pharrell. And in the podcast, he literally says, technology is your friend. You have to treat technology as your friend, or else you're going to be behind. I just think that the only thing scary about it is if you have no idea what it is and how to use it. Like, educate yourself, figure it out. That's my
Yeah,
main.
or if you have no values and there's no line that you won't cross. I know that you maybe are into Kathy Heller's work because I think I saw you repost something of hers, and I follow her work. A lot of what you talk about, I feel like, is in alignment with the
Yeah, yeah,
abundance
yeah.
mindset. And I happen to agree, but I think it can be hard because sometimes a lot of people out there don't like that abundant mindset, and they will tear you down if you seem too hopeful about your own success. But I also think that your energy and your excitement about your success and about what you're doing is what ultimately drives it. And so it's just so cool to talk to you because from my perspective, I'm like, you are going places. People just don't know how this works. Like, they don't understand how many people are involved. Having one singer-songwriter be the face of it all, I don't even know how many people working behind them. And you have a lot to manage already. Like, you have a pretty large following on social media, on multiple different platforms. So I can only imagine how many notifications you're getting on a daily basis. How do you find the time to prioritize like responding to fans, or like what do you choose to respond to and not respond to, since you don't have time to respond to everything?
I definitely try to prioritize a specific time of the day where I can do everything I need to do for social media and respond to people, especially. I think it's really smart because I want to build a fan base that has longevity. Like with TikTok, it's different. There's apps that I feel like are very, very fast paced. TikTok is one of them. Off of being on all of these social media platforms for like 5 years, I would say in total, with Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. YouTube is the best because YouTube is long form content. I feel like my YouTube fans are so diehard and amazing. I love them so much. Instagram is kind of dead. I think Instagram is dying out slowly. And for a long time, I struggled to even get my numbers back up to like what it used to be when I first started. And I kind of just realized like I don't really care. I'm not posting for likes and comments. I'm posting because I want to put it out there. And if someone sees it that likes it, sure, I don't, whatever. Awesome. Threads is amazing. I think Threads is an amazing way to connect to your audience. More artists should be utilizing that as a way to gain and reach people. So I would say Threads and YouTube is my favorite right now to actually interact with fans and talk to them and find new people to work with. Instagram is dead. TikTok is kind of dead a little bit too. But yeah, I love talking to my fans and talking to people that discover me and seeing what they think and what their perspective is. And back to Kathy Heller. Kathy Heller really got me. I haven't listened to her in a while, but her podcast is amazing and I would always put it on. And there was a point, maybe like 6 months ago, that I was in a relationship that I got myself out of because it just wasn't not working for me. It was like bare minimum, and I was just done. I was over it. And after I left that relationship, I started listening to Kathy Heller because I was so scared and depressed to do my music by myself, completely by myself. And she made me realize, like, you are amazing and you have the power to change your life. It's all about how you think.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't realize that what you tell yourself, when people talk about manifestation and all this, and they're like, oh my God, like it's nonsense. No, I think that manifestation is really like what you put out into the world and what you tell yourself. If you wake up every day and think to yourself, this day sucks and I'm a loser, you're gonna be that. That's just what it is. But when you wake up in the morning, even if you don't want to, you say, I'm thankful for this day and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to figure it out today. That is going to change your life so immensely. And people underestimate the power of thoughts and what they tell themselves. So Kathy Heller taught me a lot about that. My mom always tells me that too. It's like, you are what you think you
Yeah.
are, and you become what you are. If you are that, you will be that. It's undeniable, you know?
Yeah. No, I
You can't fight
100%
that.
agree. That's also so nice that you've always had your mom as such a like stable role model in your life and someone who can help guide you with her wisdom, especially being in a town where there's people who will exploit you for your talent. So, okay, I did notice that you don't have any music up on streaming platforms. I imagine you're working on artist development and you want to really roll out once you really know the direction you're headed. It's interesting because I'm doing the exact opposite, where I've done everything in a weird, crazy, low quality way, and it's helped me kind of realize what is important. So I'm interested to hear you speak about this. Like, is there a part of you that wishes you put anything out, even if it was like lower quality? Are you excited for your big debut coming up? Like, how does the whole streaming stuff make you feel?
It's a love-hate relationship. I've been wanting to release music for so long. I haven't released music in like 3 years. And before that, I did release, but I deleted everything because it was with people that were controlling me.
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. It all happened for a reason. I'm thankful for it because it taught me so much. And I'm grateful that it happened earlier on rather than later on, when I was a baby and I knew nothing, to learn something from it and take on from it rather than, you know, getting this burst of attention and fame and then having someone come in while that's happening and while all these people are watching you. It's a different
Yeah.
experience, I'm sure. So I'm grateful for those experiences and I don't dwell on them. But I released songs back in 2020, 2021, and they were completely different than the things that I make now. I feel like it's because it was always influenced by someone else. And it wasn't until I picked up my guitar and I started playing my guitar that I realized, oh, this is what I'm actually supposed to be doing. It's not writing over people's beats. Because if you're writing over someone else's stuff, you're just trying to shine whatever they made.
Hmm.
And in better words, you can't shine shitty things and expect it to be good. Haven't released music in a long time, so I definitely am itching to release something. But I think that I'm okay with being patient and releasing something that I'm really proud of to release first, and also having a bunch of songs ready to release because I don't want to be the artist that builds all this tension up and been like, okay, I'm going to release, and then releases a song and then doesn't release one for another 5 months. I don't want to do that. I want to be ready. Russ is one of my all-time favorite independent artists. And I've learned a lot from just like watching him and how he moves and what he does. And I think that there's a lot of leverage in being able to do it yourself and having a lot of songs ready to release. I do have a lot of songs I've written. Recorded is one thing, written is another. So, recorded, I have a good bank of songs that are like demo ready and like ready to really release, but I want to release at least one song a month if I can and be super consistent with it because I don't want to leave my supporters hanging and being like, okay, well, you released something and now it's been how long and you
Yeah.
haven't released anything else. So it's like, what's the point of that? I need to like, I think momentum and consistency are the two things that are going to separate you from anyone else that's doing it. And there may be an artist that's like super, super amazing, and they released one project for an entire year. But if it's just one song, like people are very quick to just move on to the next thing. Because again, like I was saying, like with TikTok and Instagram, like it's very much like 2 second attention span.
Yeah.
So building an audience is what I'm doing right now, and that's my main goal with just getting as many people as I can get before I release. So whenever I do, I'm prepared to release something consistently, and I already have a fan base before I even release anything, which is awesome.
Yeah,
So
I know that's so cool to me because you definitely have a fan base. I mean, just from stalking you online, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's pretty like unheard of. I don't know. Do you know a bunch of people who have a fan base who haven't released music yet?
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people online that post a bunch of songs that they write and they cover songs and stuff, and they definitely have followers, but followers are one thing and supporters are a whole different thing. You can have
Right.
hundreds of thousands of followers, but it could really translate to nothing because those followers don't really exist. I've learned that with Instagram because with Instagram, I have 100 something thousand followers, but because the algorithm has changed so much, my account isn't reaching all those followers anymore. So they really don't exist. And it's really sad because a lot of people have built their accounts counting and waiting for their social media platform to do the work for them, but really you have to do the work to gaining those subscribers, subscriptions. That's why I think YouTube is really amazing because you get a subscription. But my biggest advice to artists would be to try to turn those subscriptions into an email that you can save. So you can directly contact that person. So if anything ever happens, you have your fan base, not another platform that you have no idea what will happen tomorrow with it.
For sure. Yeah, I hear that advice a lot about building a career in music, and that makes perfect sense because if something happens to that platform or to your account, that's it, you have nothing. Do you have a mailing list, by the way?
I do. If you go on my website, it's sydneysheamusic.com, and there's like a little thing at the bottom. If you put your email in, then you're automatically in my contact
Okay,
list.
cool. I will
Yeah.
totally join because I really like hearing from you. How many songs would you say that you've written? I'm just curious.
Like in all, like in
Yeah.
total for like my whole life. If I were to say songs that I've written and I've finished, I would say about 100, if
Cool.
that, maybe. If I were to say like ideas and songs, like I don't even know how so many ideas and so many different things. Now that I've been more disciplined with myself, I won't count it as a song unless it's like completely finished and I can stand on stage and play it. So if I were to say a song that I can stand on stage and play, I would say about like 50 solid songs.
Wow.
It doesn't
Um,
feel like that much, but it really is a lot. Like just this year, I feel like I've written like 30 songs that are really finished. All the ideas and songs that I've written also for other people. I don't even know how much that would be, but again, I started playing my guitar a couple of years ago. So I'm counting the ones that I've actually sat on my guitar and played and finished that way. I think those are like really my true songs. I won't even count the ones that I wrote on other people's stuff because it wasn't me.
so when you started learning guitar a few years ago, is that when you started writing songs as well?
I wrote songs before that, like even when I was a kid, when I was like 9 years old, and I would write in my diary in my journal. Even though I didn't know how to play an instrument, I would write songs purely on just melody. So I would like sing the song all melodically, a cappella, and I would just write them inside of my journal. And it's so crazy how strong melody is because I still remember those melodies that I wrote when I was 9. And it
Wow.
was because I sang them so much. It was just crazy because, like, you don't have an instrument, you have nothing to base it off of, you have no recording. But I remembered all the songs I wrote in my journal when I was 9 years old, all because of the melody.
That's beautiful.
So, yeah, technically, I did write songs before I ever picked up my guitar, but I never felt like they were mine until I started using my instrument. I
Cool.
used to write for other people that would give me beats, or like I would find beats on YouTube, or like anything I could find, honestly. I just wanted to write. But I was just like, I don't like this. And I used to think it was because of me, but really it was because the music that was put into it was not what I liked.
Yeah, yeah, I totally get that. I was wondering if you had a favorite lyric of yours that you'd written, or even a couple, because I know you've written so much, and I'm personally very impressed by your songwriting.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed taking the course with you, and I learned a lot. But I never would have taken that course if I hadn't have liked what I saw of yours to begin with. So I'm really drawn to your songwriting, and yeah, I'd love for you to share for the listener.
Do you want me to just like read it?
Sure.
This is cute. It's like a reading lyric session.
So poetic.
Where is that? Okay. So I wrote this song. Again, it was inspired by the journal entry that I wrote. It's called Where the Wild Things Roam. This is probably one of my favorite lyrics I've written. And I didn't know I loved this song until you really don't know until you start playing it a lot. And I wrote this February 26th, 2025. And I've still been singing it since then. So that's how I kind of know, okay, this song is staying. Because there's a lot of songs that I write that just like, you don't even think about it anymore and you just like move on to the next one. But this is one of the ones that I really like. Okay. You are the vessel beating doubt into my blood. Your black, fearful gun made a stallion turn and run. Don't let it go to waste before the morning sun. You are one of one. In the beginning, I'm telling someone, like, you're the reason why I'm doubting myself. Anyone would be scared of you. It's not just me. The reason why I say certain words in it too and make it so dramatic is because, like, you literally make me want to not live because it's so horrible. And then I kind of revert back to myself. I always like change who's talking. It's usually me talking, but I change like who I'm talking to in my songs a lot. So in the first verse, when I say you are the vessel beating doubt into my blood, I'm talking to that person. And then when I say in the second part of the verse, pre-chorus, whatever you want to call it, don't let it go to waste before the morning sun. You are one of one is like me telling myself, don't let your talent go to waste because someone else is trying to ruin it for you or make you feel like you're not worthy enough. So I basically tell myself, like, you're one of one, which I literally preach to everyone. Every single time I have a show now, I'm like, you guys need to know there's only one of you. And as an artist, I feel I need to tell that to people because most people don't know that and they think that they need to compare themselves to others. But really, there's no one like you. Take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And then for the chorus, this is a really weird chorus. And the reason why I wrote this, I get really inspired by poetry. There's this book called The Happy Birthday of Death. It's one of my favorite poetry books. And I think I was reading through that and I saw something in it that said something about like biting into the ground. And when I thought about that, I was like, yeah, I'll take a bite into the ground, dig my grave with my teeth. Who I am chases me, who I am chases me. And I say that because it's like, I'm not going to let anyone kill me. If anyone's going to kill me, it's going to be myself. I'm going to be the one that's going to make my career or break my career. I don't know, but it's going to be me. It's not going to be you. And then through the trees beneath my soul, who I am chases me, who I am chases me, and I dance where the wild things roam. And visually, I was just imagining like me chasing myself, and that's always what it is. It's always going to be me. It's not going to be someone else making me do anything. So that's kind of what that one's about.
Thank you for sharing. I love those lyrics. I love the explanation.
I never explain it, so explaining it is so fun. I love it.
I also am like, fuck that guy. When you are a bright light, people want to leech that from you, I think. And it is so brave to tune that out and choose yourself in a society that kind of encourages selling out.
I was going to also add and just say something to everyone watching, not just women, but everyone that watches this. Just because someone is good to you doesn't mean they're good to everyone else. And what I mean by that is most of the time, whenever you're so good and you're genuinely a good person and you love really hard, your energy is being projected onto people who are not. And the reason why you end up liking them is because you're seeing yourself in them. And it took me a really, really long time to realize that. And once I did, once you really know the psychology behind why people are the way they are, why they do the things that they do, as a writer, as an artist, I feel like it's my job to figure those things out so I can actually tell people what I figure out. And your goodness is really what you're falling in love with. It's not the other person. It's just your amazingness being projected back at you. So when you miss something or you think about something and you're like, oh, I miss this person, I don't think it's usually that person that you miss. I think it's just a version of yourself that you miss. So, in all of the experiences that I've had so far, I've realized that all of those things needed to happen. But I also realized that in the end, it was always me who was going to make my career. No one is going to take me and make me into something. And no one's vision is better than my vision for me.
100%. 100% agree. I believe that stuff for myself. And I know how delusional that looks from the outside for anyone who doesn't understand what I've been through. So I don't know that it's helpful that I'm like, I totally believe in this vision for you but I do. I see it for myself. I see it for artists that I see. And that's probably because I see myself in these other artists.
That's amazing. We are in the era of DIY, do everything yourself, and it is really overwhelming, but it will pay off in the end for the ones that don't give up on it. Once you let people come into your life and determine what the next move is, you're already losing your control over yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And it's hard because it's a constant work in progress. You meet certain people and you might feel insecure, but then you work past that. But then you're always meeting new people. You're always leveling up, and you have to constantly be checking in with yourself and reflecting.
I think as an artist, you have to always be open to learning something from someone or just from the world and letting it teach you. I don't let anyone make me feel insecure. And if they do, I know that that person is not who I want around me at all. And not to say like, oh, I know better, or like, you can't tell me I'm wrong. Because I am always open to hearing someone's opinion, but I need to listen to my body, and people need to start listening to what their body tells them. When you're with someone and you feel anxious, and you have to know, like, butterflies in your stomach is usually not a good thing. Like,
I agree.
immediately feeling anything in your body and realizing that is a really, really good thing to be self-aware. I think most people aren't because they don't want to be. But being self-aware as an artist is really important because you're going to run into a lot of people that want to leech off of you, want to take your energy. Be okay with just not caring, blocking. Become friends with your block button. That's one thing I can say. That's freed me a lot because once you don't allow that person to have access to you, you won. And it's not about being weak or being, oh, I'm strong because I'm not going to block this person. Like, I don't want them to think they have power over me. No, you're letting them have power over you by allowing them to reach you. And again, like back to what you think is what you are. If you're giving someone thought or you're putting it out there that you're thinking about them or anything, you are giving away your power. And I think that that's just like always a learning lesson, but I will not tolerate being in a room with someone that makes me feel insecure because I don't think that I have anything to feel insecure about. I'm always open to learning and I'm always open to humility, but I don't think that anyone should ever make you feel insecure, especially if you don't know something. Like if someone makes me feel stupid for not knowing something, I'm immediately like, I'm good.
Yeah, no,
There's,
I agree.
yeah,
That's such a healthy mindset because anyone who really is happy and joyful and living in alignment and in their purpose would never put someone down who is trying to do the same.
exactly. And in that whole journal entry that I love how we keep referencing this journal entry, but I think that it's really important because if there's artists that are going to watch this, or just anyone that's going to watch this and take something from it, I would say don't think that just because someone is harsh or putting you in a hard situation to see if you can get yourself out of it, that it's a good thing. Because their negativity is only going to make you feel negative about yourself. And I don't think you need to push yourself to the brink of hating everything that you make to become better.
Yeah, no, that was so well put. It, you can't create from this place of total negativity. You have a beautiful voice. You have amazing vocal technique. I imagine you've worked on your voice, or am I making that up?
When I first started taking my singing seriously, and I like finally was like, okay, I can do this. I know I can. I took vocal lessons for a little bit, not too long, I think like maybe 6 months. I took vocal lessons with someone privately. And really, what I've realized after taking so many different vocal lessons and trying different teachers is that it's all the same. It's all the same, and you just have to really be good at listening to yourself because you are going to be the one to know what you're doing right and wrong. You don't need someone to tell you. You need to know yourself if you sound on pitch or if you are doing the right vowel sound or whatever it is, but you should be able to determine whether you're good or not at what you're doing and how to level yourself up. There's so many resources in the world that I don't think you really need to seek anything out. Not to say like, oh, don't go take classes. I think that it's always amazing. Like I teach singing classes for people, but I always say like, there's a certain level where you have to just listen to yourself and hear yourself. Like I can always give you the tools and be like, here, this is what I think. But I don't think that it's engraved in stone, like this is the way it is. You have to be your own teacher in everything. And that's like what I teach in my courses is like, I'm here for you now. And this is probably going to be like a couple times where we like meet up and do this, but I want you to be good at teaching yourself things because no one is going to take you to where you need to be but yourself.
Yeah. I mean, the power really is within, and everyone knows what is best for themselves because that's literally like the definition of being your own person is having the most access to yourself. And it can be easy to get confused and think that you don't know best. We all do know best. And I'm also just kind of hearing through that you learned by ear, by doing. You weren't like, oh my gosh, I can't sing. I'm going to a voice teacher to learn.
No, I've sang my whole life. I always sang since I was a baby. Since I learned how to talk, I was singing. Like I think my mom always tells this story of whenever I was like 2 years old. And you know that song with Gwen Stefani? It's like, this is bananas, B-A-N-A. And she always tells me the story of like one day she got into the car and like put me in my car seat and I just sang the entire song from top to bottom, the entire song. She was like, what? How did you learn that? I just always loved singing. I was always inspired by Gwen Stefani. She was like one of the first artists that I ever listened to as a baby.
Wow.
Mom would always listen to her, but yeah, like singing has always been a part of my life. I only started going to vocal lessons whenever I was like, I really want to be a professional. I don't want to just sing and be like, oh, you're really good. I want to know exactly what I'm doing. I want to know how to place my voice. I want to know what kind of songs I can sing to push myself to sing. I just wanted to make it a challenge for myself. So that's why I wanted to go and take lessons. People always need to go and learn from other people. But again, going back to what I was saying is like at some point, you got to graduate yourself. I never went to school for music or for anything. So I always had to like figure out how to learn something and then graduate myself. Like, okay, I know this now. Now I'm on to the next thing.
Yeah. It's so impressive to me that you haven't gone to school for music. I think you're really good at singing, at songwriting, instruments. You said you learned guitar a few years ago. Did you also teach yourself piano?
Yeah, it was the same thing. Yeah, yeah. I taught myself guitar, I taught myself piano.
Wow.
It's really just like looking for it. I think that I like finding things and looking for things, especially like special gems on the internet where I'm like, oh my God, this teacher's so good. And guess what? I don't need to pay anyone because I have the discipline. I think school is easier for people sometimes because like you're paying for it, which sucks, obviously, but like school is easier because you go to school and someone is holding you accountable. Like you get graded. I wasn't getting graded, but I was my own critic, which is really hard because you have to show up for yourself and no one's going to make you do that. Have to wake up early every day or, plan your whole day out without anyone giving you a grade for it. So I think that that pressure is a lot and it's a different kind of thing, but I think it is better than making someone give you discipline. Like you have to learn that yourself. I was a ballerina growing up, and being in ballet taught me so much about discipline. And that definitely affected me in how I think today, my dance, and how consistently I showed up for that.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. What do you do like now to keep yourself motivated or to keep yourself fit? Is dance your number one go-to?
I feel like I just always try to move my body, and I love dance. Dance will always be my favorite way to doing that. But yeah, I just like exercising. I like working out, and it goes back to being disciplined and doing things for yourself that are good. You can't always fill your brain with writing, 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 writing. I have a lot of different things I do. I like doing my blog. I post like at least once a month. I go to dance. I read. I write. I sing. I go and write songs for other people. I go to my friends' sessions, which is cool too. Like I have a session that I'm going to tonight, and it's like has nothing to do with me. So I love doing things that are different. I love switching it up. I don't think it's healthy to constantly do the same thing over and over and over again. And like, as an artist, as a human, spread out your eggs, you know,
Yeah, for sure.
many different things. Don't just do one thing. But I do think that it is really important to have something that you're solely focusing on because if you are doing too many different things and not focusing on something, then you're just going to be the guy that says he knows how to do everything, but really knows how to do nothing well. And that's also one big, big thing that is a red flag if you come across someone that has in their bio artist, dancer, actor, work consultant, this, 10 different things. You probably don't know how to do any of those things, and you maybe know how to do them at like a decent level because you can't do everything amazing. You have to really focus on one thing to get really good at it. That's what I've learned with playing guitar and teaching myself an instrument. There's a lot of things I'm naturally good at, like dance and singing and writing songs, which I've put so much time into. So maybe it's not naturally because I've actually put so much time into it. I had that natural instinct, but it takes time to get good at something. And right now, my main focus is music. And it's taken a lot of determination to actually say, I'm a singer. Before, I used to not want to say that because I didn't feel like I was good enough to say that. And I want to be good enough to be like, I'm a singer. And what that means is that if you say that, if someone says, sing a song right now, if you can't sing a song right in that moment, you're not a singer. You know what I mean?
Wait, can you sing a song right now?
I keep on falling in and out. You know, that's what I'm saying. If someone asks you to do something on the spot, I think you know you're good at it when you can actually do that thing. If you can't do it, you're not at that point yet in your career to be like, I can do this. I had a lot of bad teachers and a lot of good teachers, but a lot of the bad teachers taught me even more than the good teachers did. And in those lessons, I learned that you can be super confident but that doesn't mask how good you are at things, how good you actually are at it. So you have to be competent in what you do. And it takes a lot of time and practice and hours of sitting there with your guitar and playing the same riff for days, you know?
Yeah.
My
Oh,
dog is, she just started crying and sat down.
oh my gosh, she's so cute. Oh my
Yeah.
God. So I guess this is like such a simple question, but I feel like I am genuinely curious. Why do you want to be a professional singer-songwriter? Like, what is at the root of that for you?
That's a really good question. I want to prove it to myself. I think that I've always wanted that since I was a kid to sing. And I never even knew as a kid that I would sing my own songs. I mean, I always wanted to, but I never knew I would write them. And I think I was always doing it, not even knowing I was doing it. It's just who I see myself as. When I think about like my higher self and what that girl looks like, that's what she's doing. And that's like what I'm happiest doing is writing and singing.
Cool. And how has it felt like performing? Because I know you've sort of recently started to step into that more. How has that been?
It's been amazing. I think that it's so awesome that I get to perform in my town. I live in Los Angeles. I was born and raised here. And I think it's just so special being able to go out and put it out there in front of people's faces. I've been going live on my phone for so long that I feel like I'm naturally good at just like talking to people. And that's just like how I am. People say that it's very easy to talk to me. So I think it translates on stage really well, but I do find myself getting even more nervous about the talking more than I do about the singing. So that's how I know I'm competent in my singing and songwriting more than I am about like going up on stage and like just talking and being natural and hanging out. I think that that is what I worry more about. But so far, I've played a couple of shows. It's been amazing. I've had such great support. Everyone's come out and shown out for me. And it's just a really heartwarming feeling to go out into the real world and do what I always wanted to do. And it's really more about like, I love performing, I love being on stage.
Yeah. And do you incorporate anything from your dance background?
Right now, I am solo. So I am like, it's just me and my guitar. It's super intimate.
I love.
I'm looking into getting a band. I think that my band will just find me. That's kind of what I'm opening myself up to. I'm going to go on stage, and then if someone really wants to start a band with me, they'll just come up to me and be like, "Hey, I want to start a band with you." So I'm just waiting for that. I'm very open to that right now until that actually happens. But I do want to dance on stage. I don't know what that's going to look like because dance is so universal. It's not just one thing. I do every single style of dance. I do ballet, I do hip hop, I do jazz, I do contemporary. So I don't know what the dancing will look like, you know? It might just be me like fluttering my arms. I don't know.
Oh, I think that's so cool. Like, even just interpreting your own dance style, it's so creative. Yeah, you could probably create your own genre of
Like
dance.
literally create my own genre of dance to my music would be awesome. But I have no idea what it's going to look like. I definitely do want to move on stage. I don't want to just like stagnantly stand there the whole time and play guitar. I think what I envision is me on stage playing guitar for a couple songs and then being able to be free because I do want to be free and hold my microphone and like
Mm,
walk around and dance and do all of that. So that's what I envision.
so cool. And I know that your heart is in LA and you have a very special connection to LA. And for whatever it's worth, I guess I don't have that much experience in that many rooms. But I do live in New York, and for some reason, I can just see you here.
I think I would go everywhere. I'm not like, I used to be super attached to this place because it's my home. And I think that when I do leave it, I'm odd. Like after a week, I'm like, I want to go home. I miss
Makes
LA.
sense.
But For the future, I see myself going everywhere. I want to go everywhere. I want to experience every single place there is on this planet. And yeah, I would love to come to New York.
Amazing. Well, I can't wait to see you live one day. I hope that you continue taking charge and not letting anyone tell you what to do because you're amazing and you're definitely a triple threat.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me on here. And
Yeah, of course.
I love your questions.
Is there anything you want to share with the couple minutes we have left?
I feel like the only thing I would add is maybe just trust your instincts and do whatever you feel is right for yourself. No one's going to know more than you do about yourself, about your art, and what your vision is. Trust yourself.
Thank you so much, Sydney, for such an honest and engaging conversation. If you loved this episode, make sure to check out more of Sydney's work. I'll link everything in the show notes. Sydney is fulfilling her destiny and is going to be on her terms through her vision, in her words, and through reminding us all that we are one of one. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I appreciate you being here today and hope to see you next time.